If you're a die-hard Sleepaway Camp fan, then you know the story of Sleepaway Camp 4, The Survivor. They began filming in 1992, but the production company, Double Helix Films, went bankrupt and the movie was canceled. There was eventually a Sleepaway Camp DVD box set, but if you bought it at Best Buy, it came with an exclusive bonus disc that contained most of the raw footage from the unfinished shoot. At that time, that was the only way to watch Sleepaway Camp 4. I only realized, literally hours before putting together this review, that they actually released the finished movie this year. I haven't had time to watch it, but from what I've gathered, Angela's not even the killer. It's about one of the survivors from the first movie having vivid flashbacks of the night she was attacked. I don't know if she's supposed to be Angela with amnesia or something, but ultimately the movie's only 70 minutes and all they did was blend footage from the prior films with the 1992 footage, slapping the title on for good measure. Suffice to say, some fans don't consider it a true sequel because of its unfinished nature. The damn thing came out nearly 20 years after it was filmed. However, according to the chronology, Sleepaway Camp 4 acknowledges the last two films. Return to Sleepaway Camp doesn't. Apparently, this one ignores the prior two sequels and is set after the first movie. It's even helmed by the same director, Robert Hiltzik. So it begins, where else? At camp, and follows a fat kid named Alan. Alan's got some issues. He's the overweight bully that everyone picks on behind his back. Look, even the adults hate his guts.
Not as stupid as you big penis! Is that so, fat boy?
That's what always disturbed me about these films. Everyone seems unpleasant. There's a police officer with throat cancer who talks with the voice box, and right away the douchebag kids make fun of him.
Hey, dude! Can you play Intergalactic on that thing?
Even the authority figures are indecent.
Eat the fucking chicken, Alan!
Who manhandles a kid like this, even if he is unlikable?
Hey, Randy, your ass stinks.
Fact of life, kid. It's an ass. Asses stink. You've got Vincent Pastor as the head counselor Frank, and if you can believe this, Isaac Hayes as a chef.
Count problem child.
Is this Sleepaway Camp or a live-action episode of South Park? Alan gets into a fight with Mickey, a cook, nearly killing him in the process. He runs off into the woods where his stepbrother Michael confronts him. Well, if we ever do see any kills in this movie, I think I'm looking at the killer. I spoke a little too soon there. So Mickey gets killed by getting dunked in boiling water. A nice touch, but we saw the same thing happen to the cook in the first movie. Although it looks like the killer took a few lessons from Angela. This time, they actually kill him. Alan goes to a camp dance where he gets picked on some more, and then finds a couple of kids smoking dope, where he gets picked on some more.
Blowjob just smoked an entire joint full of cow shit. No way.
At this point, I really don't know if I should hate Alan or feel sorry for him. It seems like Alan's got problems. Is he just a bully, or is he, mentally challenged? Look at the way he acts.
Just stop calling me that, Petey. Tell him to stop.
And this girl keeps sticking up for him. Even she treats him like he's special. I don't know if that was what the movie was going for, but this kid is overplaying this part so much, I really can't tell. Another thing, why does he never change his clothes? He had eggs thrown at him, not to mention his own bodily fluids. There's another kill where one of the stoners is set on fire and burnt to a crisp, Freddy Krueger style. Again, not bad, not terribly violent, but regardless, they had a very similar death in Sleepaway Camp 2. Did they just throw originality out the window? So after getting picked on some more, Alan makes his way into the middle of a paintball game where his own teammates turn on him and gun him down. This is pretty twisted. The thing about it is we can't even really root for Alan because he's such a wimp of a character, and let me stress, he's a big foul-mouthed bully. Everyone in this movie is a bully. You have losers on both sides. In the meantime, Sheriff Jerry seeks out Angela's cousin Ricky, the little foul-mouthed brat from the first movie who, I guess, survived his beating somehow, regarding his cousin Angela. We learn that she's been locked up in an institution for years, but the sheriff suggests that the murders, that no one seems to be taking seriously, are related to her. Back at the camp, Alan sulks for the 70th time, and then flips out at finding that a couple of little dickweeds skinned his frogs. And then they have the nerve to call him Sick Boy.
Kiss my ass, sick boy. Don't say that!
What happens in movies where there's a nerd that no one likes? Of course, they pull a prank on him and humiliate him in front of the entire cast. This is just a random array of scenes with this kid getting picked on, and it never ends. So after Little Red Riding Hood comes to Alan's rescue again, the counselor named Ronnie gets it in his head that she's Angela, because she's the only decent human being in this godforsaken movie? Right around this time, we'd expect the nerdy character to redeem himself. Or, transform into some kind of green slimy monster, one of the two. But the rants keep on coming and Alan keeps on whining.
Stop, tell him to stop.
Down, Alan.
Shut up, shut the fuck up.
We finally get another death sequence, with Vincent Pastor getting his head shoved in his bird's cage, only to have a face-to-face with a rat. Okay, that's a little more creative. We haven't seen this in any of the prior Sleepaway films. Then there's another scene of a guy getting tied up. Again, they ripped this directly from Sleepaway 3, with one interesting twist. Where's this rope connected to? The man's Peter Pumpkin Eater. That's ingenuity for you. Ironically, it's his girlfriend driving the Jeep that performs his little groin surgery. A kid gets a stake shoved through his eye, and we finally see what became of Pastor. That's pretty slick, actually. The annoying black girl gets punctuated by a slab of spikes like a Prince of Persia booby trap. Why is the movie picking up now, after an hour of crying and whining? Now it's getting interesting. The girls come to the conclusion that Alan's behind the kills, which wouldn't be that surprising given how fairly he was treated throughout this whole thing. The killer finally gets to the blonde who, what a shock, ties her up and starts suspending her in midair, when Alan's brother Michael comes in to save the day. Michael goes to find Alan and beats him within an inch of his life, with a mallet, when the killer strikes again. So here comes the surprise ending. The sheriff starts shedding and reveals that he was Angela the whole time. And to end this crap series, she gives the maniacal evil laugh. The one we expect all the cliché villains to give. I would definitely say that, not including Part 4, this is hands down the worst in the Sleepaway series. The characters are nasty, you can't root for anyone, the kills, while sometimes inventive, were mostly ripped from the prior films, and you barely see anything of Isaac Hayes, which, while an odd casting choice for this kind of movie, was the best part about the whole experience. Sadly, this was Hayes' last film before he passed away. Not to mention the main character, notice I didn't say protagonist because he was as despicable as anyone else, is just a whiny fat kid who complains and runs away all the time. There is no hope for this kid. He's doomed from the very beginning. To the film's credit, it's got that cheap, unsettling feel of the first movie, and if you were a fan of that film, you might like this. But I like my horror protagonists to have some strong character traits, and Alan's nothing more than a whining, fart-lighting crybaby. Will someone pop an Alien or Halloween, please? I need to be reminded of what a strong horror lead is.